Hello and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Kamen Rider Drive review for you today. This is the Deluxe Handle Ken, or Handle Sword. Ken means sword in Japanese. As you can see, it comes with the Type Wild shift car, and there's a picture of Drive Type Wild right here on the front. Really nice picture. He gets this sword around episode 3 or 4, I want to say. There's actually a pretty funny bit when he first gets the sword. His belt tells him to give it a really cool name, and he just says, nope, I'm going to call it Handle Sword. And I don't know why, it just really made me laugh. In Japan, a steering wheel is called a handle, so that's why it's called a Handle Ken. But it's a really cool box. On the front here, it shows that it does have some connectability with the driver itself, which is very cool, which we'll get into. On the bottom here, it shows Type Speed and Type Wild. Nice picture of Speed on the side here. Picture of Wild on this side. And then on the back here, again, we have Type Wild showing how the car works with the driver. Speed's holding the Handle Ken, shows the Handle Ken with the driver. So we'll take a look at all these things as we go ahead and move on to the sword out of the packaging. So here is everything you get inside the box. This is the Type Wild shift car. I really like this thing. I think the design of it is so cool. I kind of wish this is what the Tridron toy looked like in Type Wild mode, but I understand why I can't. But it's a big, cool, I don't know, I just love the design of it. It's like, it's, you know, thick, it's built tough, but it's still really, like, stylized. I like the design. I don't know, I just really like this guy. I'm going to put him off to the side for a second. Then we take a look at the Handle Ken itself. When you do get this, the steering wheel comes separate, so you just pop it onto the front, just clicks in. It does take 2 AAA batteries, which you put right here, this section right here. You unscrew it and put the batteries in. And then the on and off switch is right down here, so if you turn it on. Now this has LED lights right here. If you can see, this section right here kind of looks like the front of a car. And that is where the LEDs are and kind of what the headlights would be. So if I go ahead and turn it on. So he says, turn your handle. I'm going to kind of move the lights off a little bit, just so you can kind of see. Now if I turn to the right, this right light will turn on. Here, I'm going to kill the lights. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. But again, if I turn it, this light right here will light up. There you go, you can see it much better. If you turn the other way, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, U-turn. I guess I should start at the beginning. The basic slash sound, that's not it. That's the basic slash sound. There's a little trigger right there, as you can see. That's just no matter how many times. That's the basic slash sound. It does fit kind of in my hand. My hand's a little big. Obviously, this is meant for a small child. But basically, if you turn one time, he'll say turn, make that sound. Then you pull the trigger, it makes a little bit more than the basic slash sound. You go the other way. Again, same kind of thing. If you turn once, and then you can actually hit the horn. If you just hit the horn button by itself, just makes horn sound. But if you turn once, so if you turn once and then hit the horn, he'll say Drift Kaiten, and then you pull the trigger and it makes some more sounds. That's pretty much it. Like I showed before, if you turn 2 times and then a third one, you can either do 3 in the same direction or 2 in one direction and 1 the other way. So you could go, and it'll say U-turn. You could do So basically any 3-turn combination you can come up with, it'll say U-turn, and then you can pull the trigger for some new sounds. There are no lights or anything in the blade. It just is kind of a cool clear blue plastic. It's kind of short, not bad. I mean, children toys in Japan usually have short blades. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty respectable, it's a decent length. But there's no lights in the blade. It's only in these two kind of headlights right up here. But I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights back on in my review station here and show you how the shift car works with it. So we go ahead and just take a look at Shift Wild here. Flip it around. As you can see, it does have an R on there, just like Type Speed does, since it's one of his official forms. Pretty nice, though. I really dig this shift car. I just think the design is really cool. But if you go ahead and take the sword now, let me zoom back out. Flip this around. Slide him right in. So it'll keep making that kind of revving sound until you pull the trigger, and then it says full throttle and makes some sounds. I love the horn. But everything else is pretty much the same. Just having it in there doesn't do anything. It's just the act of putting it in does the full throttle. Oops. To release it, there's a button here on the side. Hold that down and it'll come out. So yeah, that's pretty much the sounds for this by itself. It does have connectability with the driver, which we'll get into. But first I'll show you just the sounds that this makes in the driver itself. Alright, so we have the driver here. We'll go ahead and take a look at these sounds. Start by turning this. I'm going to go ahead and do the 3 revs, but I'm going to let the fanfare music play a little bit because I really like it. And then we'll do the final attack. Alright, now the last thing that you can do, if you go ahead and turn this and then take the car out and we can put it in the sword. Then bring the sword in. So I think that's pretty cool. You go ahead and remove the sword from the shift brace, pop it in the sword, and then you can see that the handle sword shows up in the display of the driver, and then when you pull the trigger, it plays a really big sound, and then both things shut off. So I think that's pretty cool. I think it's neat that it has functionality from the sword to the driver itself. I think that's a pretty neat little feature there. So at the end of the day, I think this thing is a lot of fun. It's obviously a very small sword for a young child. My hand doesn't quite fit, and the blade is kind of short. But it does have some pretty cool sounds, and it does come with the deluxe Type Wild shift car, which is really cool. I love this shift car. I mean, you could easily just get a Candy Toy or Gashapon version later on if you don't care at all about the sword. But I think the sword is pretty fun. It's really, I guess, just up to your discretion as far as how much value you think you can get out of it. how much playability is it worth to you. But like I said, I absolutely love the shift car that it comes with. I think the sword's pretty fun. I really enjoy the fact that it can communicate with the driver instead of just kind of taking a shift car from the driver and putting it in the sword. They actually do talk to each other. I think that's a pretty neat feature, and I think that's what kind of makes it worth it for me. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Please let me know what you think down below in the comments. Please like and share this video. Please make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this review of the Deluxe Handlekin from Kamen Rider Drive, and thanks for watching.